I noticed something strange during the transaction. The buyer assembled the weapon 5 seconds faster than me, a trained professional. Even stranger, after I scrambled the scope's calibration settings, the buyer still hit the bullseye. It reminded me of the retirement request I'd submitted to the organization a few days ago, and this suddenly arranged transaction. I was certain this was no coincidence. While I was thinking, the buyer suddenly handed me the weapon and asked me to fire a shot next to them to test the suppressor. I could have taken the buyer out right then and there, but I already had a better plan in mind. The buyer was raving about the weapon and was ready to close the deal when I suddenly claimed some parts needed modification. Though the request was out of the blue, the buyer didn't seem suspicious and gave me 3 days. After leaving the meeting point, I deliberately kicked my car's bumper loose and pried it open. Then I drove to an auto repair shop and
Fabio, got some damage to my car.
while the owner was busy working, quietly collected various parts. Back home, I immediately started taking apart those borrowed parts. I placed the metal washers on my workbench and hammered them repeatedly until they took the shape I needed. I was going to use this scrap to craft a convincing replica weapon. I cut the stolen steel pipe into 12 sections, assembled them layer by layer with the modified washers, and fitted them with a custom casing. The replica suppressor was complete. To go with the suppressor, I bought a used gun, took it apart, and reassembled it. On the surface, it looked like any ordinary weapon, but I'd modified every single component. Now for the crucial step. I used a file to flatten the bullet tips, drilled a small hole in each one, and carefully injected mercury into the cavity. Even if these rounds didn't hit a vital spot, the mercury would kill instantly. 3 days later, the deal went down as scheduled. Just as I handed over the ammunition, the buyer suddenly demanded to inspect everything again.
I'm just going to the ladies' wait here.
Cold sweat ran down my back. I noticed all the waitstaff had disappeared into the kitchen, and the entire dining area was suddenly empty like a carefully laid trap. So when the buyer reappeared, I slipped my concealed weapon into my pocket.
Okay?
I'm fine. You?
Just fine. How long did you go?
Never know. Fortunately, the inspection went off without a hitch, and the deal closed smoothly. Staring at the thick stack of cash in my hands, I wondered if I'd been overthinking everything. But what I didn't know was that the buyer had received a phone call on the way back.
Hello?
What happened?
There wasn't the opportunity.
Find one.
Late that night, I debated whether to come clean to the buyer, but what happened next made me drop that idea completely. I noticed I was being tailed from the moment the deal ended. I deliberately ducked into the shadows at a street corner, pulled out my gun, and circled around behind the tail. Just as I was about to pull the trigger, a motorcycle roared past and zoomed and shot, letting the killer slip away. This close call confirmed that the organization was coming for me. The next morning, as I packed my bags to take my wife and leave town, I had no idea a sniper's crosshairs were already locked on my head. When I checked the body, I was shocked to discover it was the buyer from a few days ago.
Who do you work for?
Say, is it you?
This confirmed everything the organization wanted me dead and buried. I thought hiding out in the remote snowfields would keep me safe, but the peace didn't last long. Within days, I spotted unfamiliar footprints in the snow outside my door. I immediately pulled my wife behind cover. At that exact moment, a bullet came streaming past. Through careful observation, I spotted the killer holding the high ground on the hillside. I moved silently into position, seized the moment, and pulled the trigger, taking him out. But then I did something puzzling. I told my wife to get back inside the house, and then I stood up.